Liverpool nil, Real Madrid nil. Sadly, Liverpool's mistakes from leg one have resulted in them going out of the Champions League in the quarter-final stage. I'm StattoJoe. You're a legend for watching this video, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. I would really, really appreciate it. We're just going to get stuck in. I have so many things I want to say. I've heard from some of you guys on Twitter. We'll get into that as well, but I just want to have a chat really about the things I've talked about before. I've talked about this before multiple times, and I feel like surely I'm not the only one who's noticed this, right? There's no way it's just me. And this is the way that teams play against Liverpool because they know they can win. And it's far too easy, right? Since January, really, and obviously this is all down to defensive issues, and I'm not saying that's Liverpool's fault. I'm just saying this is something I've really noticed is Southampton, Brighton and Burnley, and now Real Madrid, they kind of come straight to my mind when I think about the way these teams played. And that was, if they just defend, right, maybe have 10 men behind the ball, maybe leave one striker up, like they did with Benzema. Liverpool aren't going to be able to do anything. They're not creative enough, and their game plan of putting balls into the box whenever they have ultimately two of their three front men are not going to be strong headers of the ball. For me, that just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't work. They've yes, while they didn't concede tonight, they also didn't score, and they didn't score against Southampton. They didn't. I think I'm right in saying they didn't score against Brighton or Burnley as well. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. Um, it just doesn't work. Now, with that being said, for me, and as it shows here, I thought Trent and Andy Robertson were Liverpool's two best players tonight. I honestly did. I thought they were excellent. They showed some great attacking intent. I thought Trent was as comfortable as he looked in a long time in a Liverpool shirt. And I thought they played some brilliant football. And I thought that they were putting some really dangerous balls in the box and they just weren't getting met by some of their front three. Not that they were let down by their front three, but they just weren't met. And with the player ratings here, you can see that Real Madrid's back four plus Courtois, rightfully so, getting very good ratings indeed. I thought they were excellent as well. They seem to always just pop up and block shots. If we're going to just talking about players for briefly, I thought Mane and Salah were poor. I thought Salah was really poor, actually, and Mane was non-existent. I just thought Salah was really slow in terms of getting shots off and things. I think he didn't. I'm not saying he let down the team. That's not what I'm trying to say. But he really should have buried that chance that he got in the third minute of the game. He had numerous other chances that he probably should have done better with. Yeah, overall, I don't know. I just didn't think he had the best of games. But let's look into stats. Let's have a wee look at the stats breakdown because I think it's really, really interesting. And let's chat a wee bit, first of all, about my favourite thing, the attack momentum meter. And as you can see, really, Liverpool dominated the game and they dominated Real Madrid's half. And you can see there's brief patches that Real Madrid had on top, and kind of in the middle of the first half was when sort of Real Madrid had their main patch. But apart from that, it really was all Liverpool. Plenty of chances, plenty of attempts at goal, but not enough on target. And I think that's something else that really let them down. I played football for, 12, 13 years when I was younger. And the team I was in, the coaches always said, just get your shots on target. Just get your shots on target. Test the keeper, make the keeper work. And they did that with obviously the chance that Salah missed. But I think of Wijnaldum's chance should have been on target. I think Salah had a couple of shots, should have been on target. Firmino, even a chance should have been on target. Whenever they're not on target, you're guaranteed to miss. And that's kind of the point, really. But if we just look at the stats, it just shows you 15 total shots, 4 on target. Like, that's not good enough in a game that you need to win 2-0. That's really not good enough. Interestingly, possession was more even than I thought. If I was like reactionary, I thought this was more like a 65-35 kind of game, but it was a lot closer. And you can see there, 15 shots to Real Madrid 6. But Real Madrid had 2 shots on target and Liverpool had 4. Liverpool having 11 corners, which delivery wasn't great. I have to say, a bit suspect there, not amazing. But you see big chances. Now, I'm going to dispute this slightly. because I felt that Liverpool had more than one big chance. I felt that Salah had two big chances himself. There's maybe even a third one in there somewhere. And I think if Real Madrid had two, then Liverpool had more than one. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. But I certainly did think that Real Madrid had or Liverpool had more big chances than Real Madrid did in this game. You can see there that pretty much all of Liverpool's shots were inside the box, and it kind of shows you that Real Madrid had to rely on shots from outside the box. That means Liverpool kind of had them sorted. They weren't giving them enough to go in. So defensively, a good performance from Liverpool all round. Not that they had to do much, but they did enough. Even passing wise, Liverpool certainly had a lot more passes than Real Madrid, but it was relatively even apart from where the game was played. I felt on the ball, both teams looked pretty comfortable. But Liverpool played the majority of the game in Real Madrid's half. Player ratings we've already kind of had a look at, but what does this kind of mean then? Well, it means that Liverpool have to really focus now on getting top four in the Premier League. I think there was maybe a belief that Liverpool could maybe go on to win the Champions League. I certainly felt they could. I thought they were definitely good enough, but that isn't to be. Real Madrid will go on to face Chelsea in the semi-finals, and Man City will go on to face PSG in the other semi-final. So they're pretty interesting ties to get stuck into. Anyway, I asked for your thoughts over on Twitter, so let's see what you had to say. Karthik, who's a Liverpool fan, is I'm done with football. Fair enough, man. I get that 100%. Just not good enough tonight, just not good enough overall. And Gareth, another Liverpool fan, said, not quite sure why you bring in someone of Thiago's experience and Champions League know-how to have him sitting on the bench for an hour in a must-win quarter-final where we couldn't break a team down. Strange. And Gareth, if you're watching this, I have to agree with you completely. Completely. Really strange. I thought that Thiago was a cert to start, but I also want to bring in this discussion about Jota. I understand why you leave Jota for the last 30 minutes. He's an impact player. He'll come on when maybe Real Madrid are tired. But Mane's been so off form this season that I don't, and I think Jota has better stats this season for the games he's played. I think he should. I think he should have started personally. Now it's all up to me to say. Obviously, I'm not Klopp. I do not have anywhere near the level of intelligence as Klopp does. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think I just might have started Jota personally. But yeah, that was tonight's game. I think ultimately it was the first leg that really led to tonight's disappointment. Really, what can you do about that? It hasn't been a great season for Liverpool. No one is ever going to deny that. I think they've been unlucky. I think that they've also been worked out a bit by some of the smaller teams. But I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of that performance tonight? Let me know in the comments. And I'm going to be back this weekend for Premier League content, so be sure to be subscribed for that. Thanks so much for watching this video. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you at the weekend.